Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christy, this is A Nerdy Book Life, and today we're going to talk about my favorites of 2021. So I had a lot of favorites for 2021. This list is going to be a little bit long. I tried to narrow it down the best I could, but there was just so many good ones. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna start with the books that I read that I absolutely loved. Most of them were actually series. I had a couple of one-offs. The first one I have here is Cupcake by Gorman. This book had me hooked the minute I started reading it. I absolutely loved it so much. It's basically about, it has plus size rep, and it's about this girl named Ariel. Her name is Ariel, but she goes by Cupcake a lot of the times because she loves baking. And she is the type of person who is okay in her skin, and she knows she's big and she's proud, like she's okay with that. Now, she has had in the past where she's had people make fun of her and everything, and she's dealt with it, but you know, she's come to the realization that that's who she is, which, I mean, that's amazing to me. But she has a best friend named Tony, who decides to enter her into the homecoming court. And she, like, Cupcake is so shocked, and she's just like, really, Tony? But she decides to go ahead and go through with it. And while doing this, she meets a guy named Reese, or Rice. I think it's Reese. And she finds out that she has a lot in common with him. But he is the quarterback of the football team, of the high school football team. So she thinks that he's just gonna be this standoffish guy who doesn't want to talk to her, you know, because he's one of the popular ones. And it turns out they actually have a lot in common. And Rice also has a secret. They do a lot of homecoming court stuff together because they get paired together, and as prince and princess. And he keeps leaving or showing up late to these, you know, different activities that they have for the court. And it starts to make her wonder, like, because they make such a connection, and excuse me, it starts to make her wonder, like, what's going on, you know, like, why does he keep disappearing like this? But they start to kind of have feelings for each other, and this is definitely an HEA, happily ever after, if you don't know what that means. But like, it was so stinking cute, and I absolutely love the fact that it had big girl rep in it, because hello, my name's Christy and I'm a big girl, if you couldn't tell. But anyway, so this book was downright amazing. 5 stars. Gorman, I love her. I've actually talked to her on Instagram before. She is so sweet and so nice. Go follow her, go pick up her works. I'm definitely gonna go look up some of her backlist stuff. She actually is the author of Adorkable. I have never heard that until I actually read this book. I was blessed with the opportunity to get an advanced reader copy. It was a digital copy from Entangled Teen, who actually publishes this, and through NetGalley. So that was pretty awesome. And I did a review. It's up on my Goodreads. If you want to go see it, I will post a link for that in my Goodreads. So next is a series that I started this year. It's a very short series. That is Every Heart a Doorway. I have talked about this series before on my channel. If you don't know what this is, it is about children who find these doors to other worlds, and they are, the worlds that they're in kind of like help the children kind of feel like they belong. And when they come back from these worlds, because one way or another they get booted out from their world, whether they've either broken the rules, or sometimes these children will be pushed out of the world to go back into the normal world to make sure that's what they want, is to be in that world. But then their door closes and they don't know where to find the door again. So they all go to this school together to try and cope with being back in the normal world. And a lot of them want to go back into their old worlds, but some of them are kind of okay with not being in their old world. It is so good. Like, I literally flew through this book. I mean, look how short it is. So, I mean, I read this one, and then the second one, and the third one. And so far, there's 7 of them out, and I think she's even coming out with more. So, definitely pick this up. It is so good. Definitely one of my favorites. Cannot wait to continue. Then, the next one is Shadow and Bone. I read the trilogy actually with my boyfriend. We had so much fun reading this together. Shadow and Bone, Season Storm, and Rune and Rising is on the back here. This series really blew me away. My cat, I apologize. I couldn't believe that I actually slept on this series. I was like, why did it take me so long to read this? I mean, we literally flew through this book, and it was just so amazing. Like, I cannot wait to pick up Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. We're currently both reading something right now, so when he finishes up what he has, we're gonna pick up Six of Crows. So I'm super excited. This has been like the talk of BookTube, Bookstagram, Book Talk, anything for a long time now, because as the sticker says on here, it's a Netflix series. So if you don't know what this is about, basically it's about this girl, Elena, who discovers that she has more powers than she knew she had. Pretty much, I mean, if you haven't heard about it already, I mean, it's so great. So, alright, and the next book is actually 2 in a series that I picked out. The Crave series. I believe I read this back in 2020. I read the first one. And then in 2021, I read Crush. And then I also read Covet. This is the second and third book in the series. These books are amazing. Again, Entangled Teen, and it's written by Tracy Wolff. I don't know where Entangled Teen finds these authors, but anything they publish has just been amazing. I mean, I read Malice, and that was published by Entangled Teen, and it was just so great. This series right here, literally 4 words: vampires, dragons, werewolves, and witches. That's pretty much all you need to know for this series. Like, you need to go pick it up, like, now. I'm probably going to possibly do a reading vlog for the 4th one that came out. It's coming out, because it's coming out in February. So, I might take a little bit of time to explain more about these books, but I just, masterpiece is all I can say. Chef's kiss. Now, these other 2 books that I read were actually Christmas books that were my favorite. There was The 12 Holidays by Emma St. Clair, and then Christmas Swap by, I believe, Melody Carson, if I'm correct. If not, there will be a picture up here so you can see. These were really, really good. The 12 Holidays was so cute and so sweet. It was basically about these two best friends who had a moment when they were in middle school and it didn't go anywhere, so they both assumed that they didn't have, you know, they both assumed that nothing was there. Well, they went through, you know, a few duds of relationships and everything, and one day the girl is, their names have escaped me and I do apologize. The girl has a moment where she finds out that her boyfriend, her current boyfriend, is cheating on her. So she goes to her best friend, this boy that she grew up with, tells him all about it, and he was like, all right, well, let's take your list of what you're gonna do with him, because she had actually pulled a list of holidays, you know, Christmas dates that they could do together, and we're gonna do our own thing. So, because he really wants to cheer her up and make her feel better, and it's just so sweet, and you just rooting for the couple the whole time, and it's very cute. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to read that. It was actually free. Emma St. Clair actually put it out on her Bookstagram that there was a free audiobook for it, so I was glad that I snatched that up. The second one I read, which was Christmas Swap, was actually about two families who swapped their homes for Christmas time. One lived in Arizona, and I believe the other one lived in Colorado, because it was more of a cold state and it was like skiing and everything. So we pretty much focus on the family that's in Colorado, and we get a glimpse a little bit of the family in Arizona. But basically, when they swap, the family that goes to Colorado has a best friend that is with them, who's like a family friend, and she's best friends with the daughter, and she actually meets up with the guy who's supposed to be swapping to their home in Arizona. Well, something happens and he gets behind and they meet each other. It was just so sweet, and I couldn't wait to keep listening to it and find out what happens. And I absolutely love the narrator of that one. I cannot remember. Gosh, y'all, I need to get better at names or start writing things down before I tell y'all. But this was just so cute, so sweet. I actually read this one listened to this one on Crave. And it was so good. The other one was on an app called Bookfinity, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, yes, I absolutely loved those two Christmas books. That concludes the book portion of my favorites of 2021. So let's move on to my manga. The first one I'm going to pull up is no surprise, because if you watched any of my videos before, I believe I have talked about Sweat and Soap. So this is volume 6 of Sweat and Soap. This is what I've read. I've been reading this whole series throughout the year, but I just decided to pull this one. This series is so adorable. Like, if you watch Shae talks about this series all the time. She's actually where I got this from. And she's not wrong, because this series is so cute, so precious. It's about these two who meet through working at the same place. She has a body odor problem, so she tries to mask and clean herself up to make sure that she does not smell. One day he comes by and smells her and tells her that she smells absolutely amazing. She's always using the products that from the company that they both work at, and he's actually the inventor of these products. So he's like the CEO, I think, or like some big head honcho at the company. And they form a friendship and then later on a relationship, and it's just so sweet. It's so wholesome. They are precious together, and I can't wait to finish this series because it is out. All of it's out now in English, and I need to pick up the rest of the volumes as soon as possible. Actually, did recently pick up volume 7 right here. So I am going to be excited to read that one pretty soon. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is also another series that I've been reading this throughout this whole year, and that is the Promise Neverland. I may have talked about this one before, but I'm not 100% on that. But this is volume 10. I just finished this one last week or the week before, something like that. And absolutely love this series. Like, it's about these kids who they are in this orphanage, and every once in a while one of them gets adopted, but it's all secret stuff, and 2 of the kids actually escape to go see where the person who's adopted goes, and they find that they're dead. And they find out that they're actually not in an orphanage. They're in a farm that's raising these kids so that demons can eat them. Yes, I know that sounds disturbing. It's not, it doesn't show any of that in here. So if that concerns you, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. It is rated T for teen, older teens. It is a Shonen Jump. It's by Viz. Oh, the last one was by Kodansha Comics, by the way, Sweat and Soap. I want to try and get better at doing that. So, this one is way into the series. This one is halfway through the series, so I don't want to say too much. But the series is so good. It has so many twists and turns. Like, every time I turn the page, and it's just like, what? Like, it's just amazing. And it always winds up ending on the craziest cliffhanger. And I am so excited to keep reading this. I am actually buddying this series with my friend Katie. She has an Instagram, Tober2000. So go follow her because she's awesome. And she talks all about yaoi. Her brand, if you want to say, is yaoi because she loves reading that manga, so you should go check her out. Okay, and this next one, since we're on the topic of kind of creepy, I probably should have stayed with sweet and not switched to creepy, but oh well. Is Blood on the Tracks, Volume 1. So, I picked this up because I heard that Temecka from Library of Tomes loved this, and she talked about this. This is basically a psychological thriller. It's about this relationship between this boy and his mom, and it's not a healthy relationship. Basically, when I read this first one, you know, I sped through it because it's not very text heavy, but it still gets the story through. And basically, this is a crazy overprotective mom is pretty much what I'm getting from this. But I know from watching other videos and people talking about it that it gets way more crazy and in depth. So I'm excited to keep this, but Temecka absolutely loves this. Like, she gushes over this. And actually, I found out today that Margie or Margaret, I'm not 100% sure, but Margie Reads Manga, I believe is her YouTube channel. I will double check that and add that to the screen. She loves this too. And it's just like so many people talk about this and it's so good. Like, I immediately was ready to pick up volume 2 when I got this. So that'll be a future purchase of mine. Oh, and this is by Vertical Comics. Okay, Vertical Comics knows what they're doing because every single manga that I have read by them has been fantastic. Like, I've absolutely 100% wanted to continue anything by Vertical Comics. Next one on the topic of crazy is Dorohedoro. Okay, now this is definitely not for the faint of heart. This is explicit content. It even has it right there on the thing. I talked about this a lot in my 25 days of manga, so if you want to go check out that video, please do so. I did talk about this one too, I believe. But basically this is about a guy who has a reptile head. Yes, he has a reptile head, and he was cursed with the reptile head from a sorcerer. And in the city that he lives in, it's known as the Hole. And these sorcerers come in and take these people because it's a crappy city. It's very run down, and it takes all these people, and these sorcerers take some of the people from this city and do experiments on them. One day he wakes up, and his name is Kaiman, and he wakes up, doesn't remember anything, and he has a lizard head. And so basically he is going around trying to find the sorcerer who did this to him. And what he has to do to find out is he has to chomp down on their head. And there's a scene where he chomps down on the person's head, and there's another person inside this alligator head. And he says, "You're not the one." And the person will pull out, and then the alligator head will ask and say, "What did the person inside say to you?" And they'll say, "Oh, they said I wasn't the one." And then he eats him, or eats his head. I don't know, okay? This is bat crazy. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I can show you this because it's nothing too bloody, but there's nothing bloody, but that's literally what his head looks like. But y'all should go pick this up if you kind of like horror stuff, or I don't know, interesting stuff like that. It's really good. Maeve from Maeve Ever Reading suggested this, and it was a great suggestion because I cannot wait to pick up more. For some reason, my local Barnes & Nobles don't seem to carry these, so I have to go either to a Barnes & Noble that's like 30 minutes out, or to a Books A Million that's like an hour and a half out to get this. But it would be worth it if I wanted to get it physically instead of getting it through like the mail, like Right Stuff and stuff. Alright, let's move on to another one that I absolutely love. That is the Wolf Boy Is Mine Omnibus 1. This, like, I gushed so hard over this. It is by Yoko Nagiri. I talked a bit about this a lot in my 25 days of manga. So please go check that out if you want to know. Cause it just warmed my heart. Like, I absolutely loved it. So yes, I cannot wait to continue this. And the next one, no surprise, is Cutie and the Beast Volume 3. I have absolutely loved this so much. It's about Kuga and Momoka. They wind up finding each other through social media because he's a wrestler and he happens to be her favorite wrestler. And they meet up at an event, and he's basically just had her, you know, saying encouraging words and stuff to her on the social media site, and he really wants to meet her, and they just wind up having a great connection. And I don't want to say anything too much about this one. I did talk about this one in my 25 days of manga as well. But the sad thing is, there's going to be a 4th volume coming soon. And it's the final volume, and I don't want this to end. Like, I really wish this could be stretched out more. And it's just like, please, like, I need more Cutie and the Beast in my life. But, oh, I forgot to mention, this one's by Kodansha Comics, and this one is by 7 Seas. And then finally, a definite surprise in my reading of manga this year is Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 1. This is the collector's edition, and It's by Kodansha Comics. And the reason why I said this is a surprise is because I don't know. The reason why I said this one is a surprise is because I am okay when it comes to fantasy books. Like, I love fantasy books when I'm actually reading like a novel or whatever. But sometimes when it comes to manga, I like have this deep comfort with reading like, you know, love romance mangas. But I was really shocked with this one because I absolutely loved this one. It is so cute. It's basically kind of like Magical Girl Pokemon. I say that hesitantly because I feel like I'm gonna get judged. But basically this girl, she is destined to catch these cards because these different spirits come out of these cards and she has to go and catch them to put them back in this magical box. But it was so cute. I absolutely loved it. These editions are so stunning. The bad thing about it is they are very expensive. They're like close to $30. So, you know, I have to kind of be a little bit picky about whether I'm gonna get it right away or not. So that is my last favorite read of 2021. And I actually, like I said, I had a great, fantastic year of reading, and I hope that it continues this year because I want to do a whole lot of things different this year and just read more if I can. That's gonna be it for today's video, and I just want to wish you a happy new year, a happy 2022. I hope all of your goals come true, and if you stuck with me this long, put a bunny emoji because Cutie and the Beast Kuga has a rabbit. So put a bunny emoji down there. All right, I will talk to you guys